Hi, this is Vic Highland. We're going to be doing a little talk today about the aspect of motivation and the importance of music and art in the general sort of education of pupils. I've done quite a few blogs on making money from music.blogspot.com. There'll be a link at the bottom of this so you can go and see previous postings. I've got about 5 years worth of posts that are generally about one a week or one a fortnight. Lots of them go into the sort of psychological aspect of music, so that might be worth checking out. And I've done a few about the impact of what I think is coming next. This is just not my idea, this is a few other educationalists' idea about what's likely to be happening in the world of employment and what education needs to do to go some way towards dealing with that, preparing people for that sort of world. Sounds like they're just about to come and take me away. No, they're not, they're going to take somebody else away. Okay, the aspect that I'm looking at is that I've noticed recently something that I've sort of called the grammar school effect, which is that the kids are under so much pressure, if you're teaching within schools, not to miss their half an hour or 20 minutes of science in order to get down to a music lesson, which I think is absolutely ridiculous, because the scientific aspect of the research into the effect that learning a musical instrument has, or even singing has, on the human learning potential is undeniable, that it has a great beneficial effect. Yet the sort of academic pressure that's on kids, particularly in the grammar school thing, and really it's not the kids, it's the teachers pressurising and making them consider that music and art isn't that important. Well, that's ridiculous. I feel incredibly strongly about this. And part of the thing that would be good for you to do in your teaching is to put across the fact that learning to be musical, or just unlocking your musicality. I don't even think it's a case of learning to be musical, because children are musical. Keeping that unlocked is an important aspect of learning for the ability to be able to think outside the box and even think of the impossible. Because if you think of all these great technological advances that we've had in the past, it's effectively being able to think or make something that wasn't possible. And music and art is a fantastic way of doing that. Artistic thinking gives us the possibility of even thinking and creating things which are sort of seemingly ridiculous, but in time become plausible. Think about many of the things that, again, that we've got now would have been the realm of science, fantasy and science fiction not that long ago. So we need to sort of counter that, and music teaching is a great way of doing this. But however, the caveat to this is to make what you're teaching enjoyable and creative, not just going down this sort of rote learning. And I see this occasionally where people are being effectively spoon-fed by their teachers, and I don't think that helps at all, actually. I mean, there's a certain element that you've got to sort of effectively hold somebody's hand through a process, and then they've got to learn to be able to deal with that without you. Again, there are more blogs about that on the site. But what I want you to consider is that instead of your guitar teaching being a sort of an A to B journey, getting there, as for instance, get them ready for doing a particular grade or whatever, look at it that you're getting them to discover their own ability musically, which should effectively mean that you could end up with people doing things that you can't do, maybe, you know. Or, you know, you could have, out of a group of 10 pupils, you can have 2 or 3 of them become really good rock players, somebody else becomes a bass player, a couple of other people become songwriters, somebody else might become a singer, guitarist. You know, so that's the type of thing that if you're teaching properly, here we go again, if you're teaching properly, you should have different outcomes for different people. But in all instances, they should discover something about themselves in this. And there's no definitive way of proving that you're doing it right, apart from the fact that people will keep coming back and giving you money. Because at the end of the day, people vote with their feet. And if you're keeping your clientele and they're coming back week after week or whatever, then you're doing your job properly. So look at that as an idea in your own playing. You may be doing this already, which in case is fine, or you may not. Don't be frightened to enter a territory that you're not familiar with. I saw recently a thing about Marge Simpson deciding that she was going to teach piano, and I can't remember the name of the daughter now, but she said, but Mum, you don't know how to play. And she said, well, I thought I could just keep one lesson ahead of the pupil. I'm not suggesting it's quite like that, but certainly, you know, take a risk and get out there and tread some new ground if necessary. Okay, I'll be catching up with you soon with some other ideas, but certainly go to the Making Money from Music blogspot, and the address will be in the details bar at the bottom underneath this. Okay, and look forward to speaking to you again soon.